This week on Sailor Stories, we are with Frits and Marleen on their 12-metre catamaran. Frits and Marleen built this boat themselves some 30 years ago. So we're here today with Frits and Marleen on their rather nice catamaran, which Frits built himself some 20 years ago.
30 years.
30 years ago, sorry. That is an awful long time. So you're from Holland,
Yes.
and Marleen, you're from Belgium.
Yes.
And you had this inspiration as a young man to build your own boat.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I started building a Wharram catamaran. I was inspired by a book from James Wharram, Two Girls, Two Catamarans. And then James Wharram built also his own boat and went in 1950 with two German girls to the Caribbean.
Wow.
It was a very inspiring book. And then the man sold study plans for building his catamarans. So
that was your first. That was your first boat building experience.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, without any experience, the first when the boat was ready, I sailed with my sister and my brother to Denmark and back. And then later on, I saw Marleen, took her with me, and Marleen didn't know anything about sailing.
I never sailed. I was never on a boat, so no experience.
And then we went to Dover, and of course bad weather and lots of rain and waves and lots of. And then Marleen asked, "Is this normal?" And he said, "Yeah, this is normal." But what I noticed, she was not afraid. And then he said, "Okay."
And this is on the Wharram.
Yeah, on
so
the
you're
Wharram,
very
yes.
close to the water.
Yes,
then,
yeah.
Very below, and every
half
wave came over, and so.
And our
I like the sea. We
Yeah.
were with my parents always in Spain at sea,
Yeah.
so always swimming and diving, and so I liked it. But I was never on a boat, but I trusted him completely.
So that was one thing, building a Wharram, because that's a set of plans and
Yes,
a
right.
design of a boat.
Yeah.
But when you actually got around to doing this one, you actually just came up with it all yourself. You kind of just like sketched it out on the back of a cigarette packet or something.
No. After a couple of years sailing with Marleen on the small boat, we quit our jobs and we went to go with that little boat to Spain or Portugal. So we did. And in the Biscay it was bad weather because 40 years ago you had no weather forecast, only a compass and a little
Radio
direction finder, and that told you with La Coruña is something over there.
Yes.
So but in the Biscay it was very wet and cold, and then we said, and then started my thinking. The next boat will be bigger, standing headroom, dry, and then I decided I want to build it myself, totally. That was the beginning.
It's incredible. So you actually went off and got a bit of experience of boat building, you said.
Then we went back to Holland, working again, and then was thinking, okay, you want to design and build a boat, you need two things: money and experience. Now, money, no problem, working hard, okay? But then I started in my study time in the evening and Saturdays working at a shipyard, only for something
For experience.
for free. I said, okay, I want to work with you, no money, only for my experience. And I did it very often. And then I learned working with epoxy and glass and so on. So at first I want to build up experience, because otherwise it's not possible. Without experience it's not possible to build such a boat. So the two things I did.
How did you come up with the design?
At the shipyard they also were building some catamarans, and on the shipyard they had some study plans everywhere and drawings and designs, so I took everything with me at home and we went to the Salon Nautique in Paris, and then they started combining all all the information of the boats.
Comparing the
Yeah,
ships
yeah.
and what we like on this ship and what do we like
Yeah.
on that ship.
And looking for other catamarans. And then we bought a house in the northern part of Holland, near a canal. And the bridges and the locks to the sea are 6 meters wide.
Okay.
So 6 meters wide. So the length would be 11 and a half and 12 meters. So that was the limitation
Yeah.
of the size of the boat.
So what is actually the dimensions of the boat?
The boat I started was 11 and a half long and the wide and 5 meter 98.
Yeah.
So
Just
So
to get
just
fit
to
in the
get
canal.
yeah.
2 centimeters.
To, and
One
we-
on
That's
each
really
side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we have pictures good also that every lock and every bridge the boat stuck a bit and it was and
But we put do you call it
The protection.
protection very
but,
thin.
but very thin.
Very thin
Otherwise,
protection to the both sides, so we could pass to the locks and without too much
Scratching.
Yeah.
damage.
But over the years, she's actually grown, hasn't she?
yes, but not in but Marleen is swimming very often, and so I lengthened the boat at the backside, a half a
Yeah.
meter.
Yeah.
So we have a good swimming platform now,
Yes.
and also for the weight because later on I built in the two diesel engines, and they are a bit heavier and a bit more aft. So I want to
Originally, you had
I want to
outboards.
yes
Yeah.
outboards more in the center and lighter. So I want some more buoyance at the aft.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now it's still on the waterline.
And how did you actually come up with things like how much fiberglass to put in, how many layers of mat? I mean, did you come up with a theory for this, or did you just kind of make it up as you went along?
Comparing with other people, speaking to everyone who is building on his own, also the shipyard, and next to us was also someone building a rigid boot design
Yeah.
with the drawings, and then sometimes the man, and on the drawing sometimes on stretch point was the sentence heavily glass all around. And then he called the designer, what is heavily glass all around? How many layers of how many things? And then the designer said, I don't know, heavily glass. So for me, but also they don't know exactly.
Yeah.
So they don't.
So just talk briefly about the construction of the boat. You obviously built the two hulls separately and then
Yes.
sort of kind of bolted it all together with
Yeah.
the bridge deck and the
Yeah.
superstructure. What did you actually make the hulls out of?
In that time, all the hulls of the catamarans were built in strip planking, and that is in the inside is red cedar wood strips for the height 4 centimeters, 18 millimeters thickness, and then you build it around the mold, and when it's ready, covered with glass and epoxy, then you could lift it from the mold, turn around,
Yeah.
build the following.
Yeah.
So, but that was in that time a normal building method of building homemade one-off catamarans.
Yeah. And how long did the construction take you?
In total, from the beginning till the end, 3 years.
3 years.
3 years, yeah, 3 years of only working raising 2 kids, and the rest of the time
A busy time.
no social.
It was a busy time.
No social time.
And you basically did it in your back garden.
Yes, yeah, we have it. Yeah,
We had the shed. We
Shed.
rebuilt the shed because the roof was completely damaged.
Yeah.
So first we rebuilt the shed, big shed, and we built the boat, and a friend of us built the boat. So there was space enough for 2 boats, and it was near our house. Just open a door and you were in the shed.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
Yeah.
That's perfect combination for
Yeah.
Yes.
living and working
Yeah.
on a boat. Yeah.
and then all the spare time, and when we were in the house and the doorbell was ringing, I said, I'm not there.
I'm there.
Because I was anxious about, oh, someone is staying and staying the whole evening and talking. No way, I said, I'm away. You go to the...
And over the 30 years living with this boat, you've done quite a lot of travels, really, haven't you?
Yes. The first years, Marleen is working at school, so our holidays were 6 weeks. So the 6
Summer,
weeks,
yeah, summer, 6,
uh,
yeah.
we also always took 6 weeks, from the first Friday to the last Sunday. And we went to Denmark, to Norway, to Sweden, to Germany, to Poland, lots of time to England and France. But then of course,
Channel Islands.
yeah, Channel Islands. Yeah.
And then to France, to the Belle Islands, the beautiful islands of France, Belle-Île.
Yeah.
We liked it a lot in France,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Brittany and
Yeah.
Normandy. It's very, very nice. But if you have only 6 weeks, after 3 weeks you
Yeah,
have to
you
think
You have to think about
Yeah.
it.
to
Yeah.
coming back.
And then
yeah.
one year you went off to the Azores, is
Yes.
that correct? Yep.
In,
Yeah.
in 2005, you could take off 4 months of a holiday, a longer holiday, and
It was a tryout. We said we are going to try if we like to be 4 months together on a boat and just a boat. If we like it, then we are going to make other plans for a year off.
Okay, that's a good plan.
And it was a good plan because after that Azores trip we said, it's fantastic. We are going further save money, working again for 5 years, and then ask for my job, can I get a year off,
Yeah.
sabbatical?
Yeah.
And they said, that's okay, you can do it. So together,
yeah, we did it.
2010,
Yeah,
to the
always. Yeah,
to the
So-
Caribbean.
5 or 6 weeks,
Yeah.
years working, saving money, and then going for a year, coming
Yeah.
back, another 5 years working.
You
So
did the traditional route, I guess, down to the Canaries. Did you go to Cape Verde or did
Yes.
you go straight?
Yes.
away?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, Cape Verde.
Yeah. And
First,
where did you make landfall?
Sal,
No,
No.
in the
In the
Caribbean.
Caribbean.
and the Caribbean, Tobago.
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 Oh,
Kids.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we
Beautiful.
started south,
Beautiful.
the little islands,
Yeah.
Yeah.
until St. Martin.
Yeah,
We did them almost.
almost
yeah,
all the
yeah,
islands. Yeah,
Yeah.
to St. Martin and then back to
Yeah.
not to the Bermudas, but back to the
To the
Azores.
Azores.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bermuda is a lot further north, and we
Yes.
went there because we were in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
So we were
Yeah.
already a lot further
Yeah.
north.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of en route, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 It was a fantastic time in
Fantastic
total.
time,
We
yeah.
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 And now you live on her full time.
Yes,
Yes, we are both pensioned now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
retired
And
and
retired
sold
and-
our house in Holland,
Yeah.
everything. One year ago.
1 year and a half. We
Yeah.
are now in
It's
Portugal.
the best thing is to sell the house, get rid of the
Yes.
property,
Yeah, everything.
move to the
Don't
boat,
have
and then
to
Move to the
worry.
boat,
Yeah,
yeah, because
then
when
you
you
have freedom, eh?
Yeah.
when you have to keep your house, you have to rent it out,
Yeah.
and you always have some problems over there.
Yeah.
And the only problem we have is a boat, and
Yeah.
it's not a problem.
No.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are you pleased with the performance of the boat?
yes, it's a fast boat because it's weight. The weight is only 6.5 tons now, and original at the beginning of the sailing, it only weighted
4.5.
4.5.
Wow.
It was very light, so it's it's a fast boat. Yeah, so we can do. Yeah, sometimes we did for half an hour 60 knots, but then you have to
Yeah.
steer by hand, of course. But it was really fun. Yeah, but we don't need lots of sail, and
Yeah.
so 5 knots is nothing. And it started at 8, 9,
Yeah.
9 knots. Yeah.
And what are your plans moving forward?
Yes.
It depends a bit of COVID now, eh?
Yeah, it depends
everything
on.
is depending on
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
gonna happen with the world.
We were thinking again to the Caribbean
Yeah.
another time.
Yeah.
But if COVID stays, I don't know if we are going to do that. We like more the Atlantic than the Mediterranean, but we were never in the Mediterranean except last winter in Spain.
And
Perhaps it's a good idea, Mediterranean close to the children first, and then later on, or
Yeah.
reverse.
No, yeah. We are more people from the Atlantic. We used to the Atlantic and tides and the Mediterranean. I'm not fond of it, but everyone is saying we have to go to Greece
Yeah.
and Italy,
And it is
and
beautiful.
it's beautiful. Yeah.
And when
So
I see pictures of Sicilia,
Yeah.
and I think, oh, I want to see
Yeah.
that.
And there's
also.
lots of places in the
Yeah.
Mediterranean that
Yeah.
a lot of people don't really know about.
no,
Yeah.
They're
yeah,
not on the main.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to a
Yeah.
place called Ustica, for example,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it was absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, the
And you can
water was so
anchor
good.
everywhere. Eh?
Yeah.
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 Well, thank you very much for letting us talk to you, and we really do wish you the best of luck moving forward. And I just think you've done an incredible
Incredible
job.
job. You should
Yeah.
be very proud
And
of
after
yourself.
30 years, it's
Yeah.
looking in really good condition.
Thank you.
Yes.